Hey, everybody. Hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. This is Josh, or Reflections, or Synchronized Universe, whatever I decide to call myself today. It is about 4:07 in the morning, getting ready to go in, walk into work. It's about, 10-minute walk from here. Haven't got on here in a couple days. Wanted to talk about some stuff. I think I forgot what I was talking about the last one about arguments and how not to do them and the concept of worldview. I'm going to try to keep up on the ideas, the psychology ideals, because I think it's a big, it has a big impact on our world today. I'm actually doing a podcast this next week on YouTube with my buddy. It's going to be about mind control topics. And everybody likes to laugh at the idea of mind control and, give you the put your tinfoil hat on thing. But in reality, once I really started researching all the different principles of mind control for this podcast, I realized, I mean, I've always known, but like this plays a bigger role in our world than anything does. It's probably the single most, thing used against the public in the world. Easy. The idea of propaganda is part of mind control. And what is propaganda? That is, your governments or whatever putting out false information to the public to try to change their beliefs or worldview, whatever you want to call it. That's not the exact definition, but it's the gist of it. And the idea of propaganda is so openly used now. We'll have like people on the Republican side be like, oh, everything they're saying is propaganda. And then vice versa. People on the Democratic side will be like, no, everything they're saying is propaganda. And, as a free thinking individual, obviously both sides can't be propaganda because then what the hell is true? You know what I'm saying? So like that's the world we live in. As a free thinking person who doesn't do politics, always look at these arguments like my kids arguing with each other. You're not getting anywhere. Like it takes you know takes a low level of intelligence to sit and argue politics with each other all freaking day. That is my opinion, at least. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you realize that there has to be more than two political parties in this country for this stuff to work. Because otherwise, we're just divided. Like, some of these people are so, like, adamant that they want, to freaking split apart the whole country and have, oh, this side can be Democrats, this side can be, like, that's stupid. Like, come on, man. Obviously, we're both sides are being manipulated, but that is outside the scope of here. I'm gonna go off on a tangent. Sorry about that. It's just one of those things that irks me. But this idea of propaganda is I just out of control, man. Like basically one of the the founders of the ideas of propaganda, one of the people who started really pushing all this was Hitler and the Nazi Party. Actually, it goes way back further than that, but like when most people think of propaganda, they think of the Nazis. He was able to convince an entire freaking populace of people that the Jews were evil and they needed to be destroyed. He literally convinced all of the German people that the Jews were evil and needed to be destroyed, and then exterminated, you know, I don't know the exact number, but it's definitely, over a million. Over a million people were literally exterminated, and for no reason. You know what I mean? It's insane that somebody could exert that much power. And what did he use? He used he used videos, he used the newsletters, stuff like that. But like the video camera was quite literally invented as a propaganda device. And do you think in our day and age that that is any different? Absolutely not. Anytime you turn on the news for any the conservative news, the Democrat, whatever you want to call it, liberal news, like it's all the same. Like I could not watch it for 6 months and go back and I could turn on something like Fox News and it'll be saying the exact same crap it was 6 months ago. I could turn on CNN and it's the exact same thing they were talking about 6 months ago. They do not go even 5 minutes without bashing the other side of the other political party. And it's it's stupid, it's silly, and I can't, I feel for anybody who sits and watches this crap and thinks that that's actually what's going on in our country, because it's not. The real people are out here working day to day and not caring about that. It doesn't, you're not going to gain anything by caring about politics. You know what I mean? Like, you're being manipulated on a scale that is unimaginable in this country and around the world. And what they're not showing you is the people around the world getting tired of being manipulated and being controlled by a small group of elite people. And if you doubt that, you have not been paying attention. You just haven't. My whole point of all this podcast stuff is to get people asking questions and to start to question the world, the world around you, and realize that, you know, obviously not everything is a conspiracy, but there is so much data out there that proves a lot of these conspiracies. And again, it's not a conspiracy if it's true. That's what we're talking about. We got prominent people coming out and talking about this stuff now and being like, dude, this actually happened. The MK Ultra program is a good freaking example. Used to be considered a conspiracy theory. Bust out your tinfoil hat. It has been proven. They released all the documents to the MK Ultra program. For those that don't know what that is, it's when they literally tested, LSD and other psychedelic substances on public, without the public knowledge. They were testing these on people, and they did it for years, and they were using messed up practices on people. And it finally came to the light. And this is this is the CIA doing this. That's what's insane. They are the ones that were doing this. And when they finally got caught up, this organization still exists. Nobody was punished for this. Nobody had to pay for this. You think about that. Think about it. Nobody actually had to pay for this. Why is that? They were literally testing these substances on people and for purposes of mind control. And God knows what came out of those programs, because they're not going to tell us that. They're going to tell us the little bits that they're so they don't get in trouble, right? But they're not going to tell us everything. And that kind of stuff is insane. If you can look at that, if the government was capable of doing programs like that, what else are they capable of? And these are the kind of questions you got to ask. And it's obviously not the entire government, bro. Like, that's where you got to stop and think. It's factions of the government and the military industrial complex, if you will. Like, if you don't understand that the military industrial complex has a mind of its own, you're out of your mind. These people want war. Just like right now, like, we're sending all this money to Ukraine and all this stuff. The people in the White House, they want this war. Absolutely want it. We could end it right now. The answer is Russia doesn't want Ukraine to be part of NATO. Simple as that. They didn't want freaking they didn't want, NATO on their doorstep. Just like we wouldn't want, Russia on our doorstep. They don't want our missiles on their doorstep. It's as simple as that. We are allowing this to happen. If you think otherwise, you're out of your mind. And obviously Putin is not a good dude. Obviously. He's obviously doing some horrific crap. But this country, in a nutshell, has also done some horrific crap. I'm going to name the Iraq War for one. And again, that's another huge example of propaganda. George Bush convinced the entire populace that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction, and they never found any weapons of mass destruction. There was never any proof of that. And we went and basically murdered this entire country under that false pretense, and no one has ever had to pay for it except for the families. Who do you think created ISIS? We did. Like, seriously, we did, by killing all these people. It's absolutely mind-boggling that people don't understand this. Like, we have no business. Like, I've seen YouTube videos of the guys like talking about how, the guy that goes off in it's a pretty famous, I think, TikTok, where the dude's like, you sent me to Iraq and like you need to apologize, and he's like yelling at Bush. And it's true. Like, the free thinking people are realizing that This system is messed up, and not everybody's going to sit down and say no. Oh, sit down, yes sir, yes sir. No, absolutely not. We have to get up and ask these freaking questions. We have to get up and ask why the hell we're constantly at war, why we have to be the world police. Why do we need to send our people over and die? Why do we need to be at war at all? Why does this freaking world constantly want to kill each other? Why do we have things like nuclear weapons? What are we so afraid of that we have nuclear weapons and we can wipe out the entire freaking planet for what? You know, it's just like how we, launched these nuclear weapons against freaking Nagasaki and Hiroshima in Japan during World War II. Like, where was the public's freaking say in that? I've talked to many people in the past and they're like, oh, we needed to do this. We needed to do this to end the war because they would have been fighting forever. And that is another example of propaganda. 100%. Watch The Untold History of the United States. I think it's by Oliver Stone. It's a documentary. I believe it was on Netflix. I'm not sure if it's still on there, but it'll show you that Japan was going to surrender already. Like, that was a show of force. That was to show the world the weapon that we possessed, so that no one could ever test us again. 100%. They were going to surrender already, and it's insane how some people, like, their reality bubble is so thin that they have to like justify that. There is no justification for using nuclear or atomic weapon, whatever, on freaking civilian populaces, bro. None. We killed, what's 100,000 people, civilians, dude. Two entire cities. No one deserves that, regardless of what their freaking leaders did. Their leaders attacked the military installation, and we went and bombed their freaking cities like that. It's wrong, man. War is wrong. There's there's no other doubt about it. And it's time as a society that we accept that this is wrong. That our leaders shouldn't be dragging us into these unnecessary conflicts. We shouldn't be funding both sides of the freaking war as the bankers of this banking cartel that we have are. Like, this is mind blowing, man. And this is all examples of propaganda, how propaganda is being used against the populace to convince us that we need to do all these things. Again, when was the last time that the public voted to be in a war? We are not a freaking democracy if we don't get to vote on this crap. When is the last time our freaking representatives voted to go to war? No, we just do it. We just do whatever we want. We used to have to declare states of war in order to freaking bomb anybody, but we've been on a constant, you know why they named the war on terror? So they can just go bomb whoever the freak they want and not ask any questions. We're in a constant state of war. We used to have to vote for this crap. We used to have to get approval. Like, absolutely not anymore. The military industrial complex can go do whatever the hell it wants. You ever thought about that? Why? We just go to work every day and fund the system so that they can go bomb everybody. And a lot of people will, might be some people that this offends and be like, oh, you need to move out. No, absolutely not. I love this country. I love the people that are in it. But I don't love the constant states of war and the excuses that they give. We don't need to be bombing everybody. 100%. This world will not go on unless we learn to live in peace. That is humanity's problem, is that we need to, feel the need to keep killing each other. It's for what? We need to imagine if we took all this money that we spend on defense and all that as a world, we could end the problems we have. Imagine if we started investing that in new technology to better humanity instead of destroy one another. Imagine the level we could get to. Think about that as you go throughout this day. Imagine the level we could get to if we stop spending all the money on war instead. It's insane. It's like, I have a picture on my Facebook that's like, imagine what, you know, the populace of the world could accomplish if we all I think it's like loved and respected each other instead of, trying to kill one another. Imagine what 8 point whatever how many billions of people there are in the world could accomplish anything. We could accomplish anything. There would be nothing. We could end world hunger. All that crap could be solved simply by stopping killing each other. Anyway, this is Reflections. I hope you all having a wonderful day. Many, many blessings are going to come your way. Have a great day today. Peace.